Hello, everybody. My name is Chester, and this is Snow.
Why?
She's got. Okay, so I had her do a countdown.
I forgot.
I had her do a countdown, and then the whole idea being we're ready to go, right? She did the count of three, two, one. I hit record, and she stuffs her face. Amazing! It never fails. That is amazing. Okay, well, anyways,
I was like, I'm glad you caught on really quick.
I heard that right away. Once I said hi, my name, and I heard the clinking, I'm like, she's eating. She's eating. That's what's going on. She's eating. Okay. And if I make her talk, it's just gonna be sounding like kind of muffled.
Oh,
And
sorry,
I'm
sorry, sorry.
glad
That
to
was
know that
really
I was
funny.
right. All right. Well,
We've been friends for too long now.
yeah. Sometimes I wonder how. But anyway, like we were saying, my name is Chester. This is now the
Hi.
anime that we've been watching this past week, and for possibly the next couple weeks, it's gonna be So I'm a Spider, So What? Um,
Hmm.
Now this is Japanese light novel isekai, which it means it's a reincarnation to a different world type of thing. The story does follow a class that is killed in a mysterious explosion and reincarnated into another world, with one girl reincarnated as a dungeon spider. The spider then evolves and ends up having a significant amount of influence in the world, but we're not going to go any further than that because that is for the further episodes that we are going to be watching this week and next week. Today, we will be talking about the first three episodes. We don't want to overwhelm you guys with so much information that you guys are basically listening to the anime or what happens in the anime. Um, but we don't want to give you so little information that you are basically in the dark. So if you guys are new to the podcast, I would suggest you go back to the very first animes that we watched, which the first one, if I'm not incorrect, is the world's finest assassin is reincarnated as an aristocrat. It's a mouthful, but yeah. I would suggest starting off there and then making your way up. If not, this is a good place to start as well because it's the first episode. We're going to be starting with episodes 1, 2, and 3, ending it here, and then coming back later and doing 4, 5, and 6, and so on. From what I can see, it looks like there's a 24 episodes on the season. We are still currently waiting for season 2 to come up. That's not going to be until later on, either this year or next year, if we are lucky. But that being said, let's go ahead and get started with obviously episode 1, which is called "Reincarnation in Another World?" Question mark. So this was the original air date for this one was actually 2 years ago now, January 8th of 2021, and it's a really nice start to everything. So during what seems to be an ordinary day, a mysterious explosion occurs and kills an entire high school class. One of the classmates wakes up to find that she's been reincarnated as a world as a weak, nameless, quote unquote, spider type monster. And this is actually pretty fun because we don't see her getting um, just being. We actually see her get hatched from an egg, which is great.
Yes.
It's not like a pre-saved type of thing. It's you start off from day one, level one, base stats, go. So I thought that was actually really cool. Snow, anything on that one so far?
Um, I'm. No, keep going. I'm gonna. Yeah, just keep going.
Okay, so quickly wasting so sorry. So quickly escaping from her cannibalistic mom and her siblings, she realizes that this world functions under RPG logic. So if you've ever played an RPG, which I'm sure a lot of us actually have, I know Snow has, I have, you start off with base stats, which that means um, you have minimum punch powers, basic of the
Mhm.
basics. Now, she ends up wasting all her skill points on a useless appraisal skill. So,
Because in the RPG games that she used to play, appraisal used to be really good in her mind. So Yeah, I kind of interrupted. I'm sorry, but
No,
the
you're good.
way the
That's actually
appraisal
a
that
really
she
fun
got
one.
is useless.
Yeah, it's
At
actually
the
really, really
time,
funny.
it's like
The
so she taps her head and she goes like spider unnamed or whatever. She's like, "Well, that's freaking helpful." And
Well, I
yeah.
mean, in fairness, they don't. I wouldn't expect a spider, let alone a spider monster, to have a name that would unless they get named by their parents, which in this case I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, she was thinking it's gonna be an OP scale. She touches something and she appraises it. It's like this is a rare earth ore. It will give you this. But no,
Oh,
she
she touches the rock.
yeah, she touches a rock and it says appraisal, and it just comes up as rock.
Rock.
And then
Right? And
she
then
goes,
she was like, so in the cave that she got born in, she touches the wall, right? Because like she's like, oh, maybe it'll give me like the place where I'm at, like a location. Wall.
yeah,
So
she
all of a
touches
sudden, she's like, well, that's freaking helpful. I knew that,
literally
right?
everything that she touches is just like wall. It's a rock, a wall. And then she goes to one of the eggs. No, that's later on. I'm sorry, no.
That's later
She
on.
yeah, she touches herself. She goes, well, I wonder what I am, and it just says spider, nameless, and it's just that's when she realizes, oh, okay, so I just wasted 100 skill points on something that is completely useless. So that's actually really fun. It was really one of the very first few laughs that we got, or
Hmm,
personally anyway.
I much agree.
All right, so from there, she starts wandering the labyrinth for a while. She finds herself increasingly hungry until she finally resorts to cannibalizing the corpse of one of her siblings, which causes her to unlock a mysterious taboo skill. She later manages to kill a poisonous frog by trapping it in the web that she made, which is actually really. It's one of the first times that we see the anime use
No, I thought she
CGI.
killed like she eats the spider.
No, that's why she traps the spider. No, she
No,
she traps a frog.
no. You skipped.
I did. No,
She
I
yes,
said
she
she
so
cannibalizes the
she's
corpse of one of
wondering.
her siblings. Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
by
then she gets that taboo skill.
that's what I said.
Oh, I missed
This
that.
is
I'm sorry.
yeah. See, she
I
will
didn't
miss
mean.
things like this, and then she will blame
Sorry.
me for missing that information. When then I start questioning my life. So let's go
At
back
least
in
I'm
time.
consistent.
She she cannibalizes the corpse of one of her siblings. By the way, Snow, if she cannibalizes a corpse, that means that
Okay,
she
yes,
eats
okay,
another one of
smartass.
her own.
I understand. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she eats one of her brothers and or sisters, and that's what causes the taboo skill. Um, she's got no idea what it is, but it comes up as
All she knows is
taboo.
it's bad.
Yeah, it's well, obviously because if it's a taboo skill, then it's a forbidden skill. But
Mm-hmm.
under that, she gets the description of kin eater, which it makes 100% sense since she is a spider and she ends up killing or eating one of the other spiders that is her brother or sister. Now
Hmm.
later on, she does start to go wander off into the cave or the labyrinth, and she comes across the poisonous frog. Now she's able to trap it in one of her webs, which luckily it's strong enough to hold the frog, which I'm not entirely sure if they show what level the gecko or the
No, not
frog's at.
yet. Her appraisal wasn't high enough.
Oh, okay, cool. I think oh yeah, that's true. The appraisal just comes up as frog, I think.
Yeah, it was not detailed enough till like episode like I think episode 2 is where they started showing a little bit more details into it.
I
Because
think so.
after she killed the frog and like her spider, then she starts getting more like she upgraded. So
Yeah.
essentially, I got ahead of myself and I kind of interrupted Chester. I'm sorry,
No,
man.
you're good. That's fine.
So she kills the frog, but she did take a lot of damage trying to kill the frog, right? So like the frog, even though the frog was caught in her web, it was like spitting out acid, right? And then she got hit a couple of times. Keep in mind, this is her first interaction with a poison frog, so she didn't know what to do. Dodges them. She realizes she's super fast. So she ends up going up behind the frog and like venom, like put some venom in him by biting him. Then the frog dies, and she eats the whole frog. Then she can she what's it called, like an upgrade, like transformation, like into like a bigger body.
Yeah,
Essentially, she gets fully healed.
she molts the skin that she's in, which works out
Hmm.
very nicely because she ends up losing one of her eyes.
Eyesight. Yeah.
Hmm.
And her side was burnt too.
Yeah, her I think it's the back part of her gets gets some acid burns in it, and she loses one of her eyes because the frog spits out acid straight at her. So,
Yeah,
uh,
so mhm.
sorry, I was gonna say by eating this the frog and uh, basically surviving the encounter, she gains a level. She gets a skill or an ability, which is poison resistance one.
Yeah, no, I think it was like two because she already had it one
Oh, okay, yeah,
or
that might
whatever.
make sense.
Yeah.
And her
Um,
poison fang ends up going up in a level as well. So uh, some voice, a computer voice, comes up and tells her that she's met the criteria to go up a level, and that's when she ends up molting her skin. She gets out of her skin. She finds out that by molting, she's able to well, she gets her eye back for one. She completely heals from any acid or poison burns, and she gets another skill or skills to help her survive a little bit longer, a little bit more. So her stats start to go up, just like in an RPG. Once you
mhm.
level up, which this one's going to be a little bit nicer too, because in a regular RPG, once you level up, you don't heal automatically. You just keep going through until you get an antidote or something. But this type of RPG world that she's in, once you level up and once she molts, then she gets completely healthy again. So that's actually pretty cool.
And also the food is awful apparently. Every time she like the spider that she ate and the frog she ate, she said it tasted awful, but she knows she needs to do it to survive. Right? So she's doing it.
Yeah, it's basically you eat and survive, or you just
Die.
die from hunger, from something chasing you down, eating you, killing you, circle of life type stuff. So it makes sense. It makes sense. It's actually really cool. Um, Now, despite both the meals, by which they mean the frog and the spider carcass, one despite both of those being completely awful, Nameless, which we still have no name for the spider, resolves to survive in the new world. Somewhere else, it is revealed that her classmates are reincarnated as well. The fourth prince of the Annelate Kingdom, Shun, noblewoman Katya, Shun's pet earth dragon Faye, crown prince of the Rangsent Empire, Hugo, Saintess Yuri, and the class's teacher, which reincarnated as an elf, Oka, and they are all attending magic school together with Shun's younger sister Sue, which I think is no. I was gonna say Sue's the only one with the kind of a Western name, but Hugo as well. So right off
I
the
mean,
bat, I hate Hugo. I'm sorry.
fair enough. Hugo is the
The
prince that
redheaded guy.
wants. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I kind of figured you that one is what you meant. Quick question.
Yes.
The what's it called? The what's it called? Did you talk about what the very first thing about the episode about the school?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Okay, sorry. Because
No, no,
yeah,
you go.
because didn't they go back to that in episode two
They go back
about
to it
her?
throughout all three episodes, I think. So
Fair enough.
yeah, but it does kind of show us a little glimpse of like what they were like and the at the school. So in this world, basically, um, I don't know. From what I kind of gathered, the spider chick was kind of introverted. She was bullied. She wasn't a bully, but she was being bullied a lot, or she was just kind of
Well, she's kinda like an introvert. She's hardcore an introvert, and also we messed up. She didn't upgrade until episode 2.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, she upgrades either way, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's all good. Um, I don't know, I think personally for the first episode, it was good. But if we're comparing of, like, from the other animes we watched, the storyline takes a lot longer to get all the information. Like, I am personally confused of how she A is still alive in her past life, like I don't know, like think of a schoolgirl, okay, an average schoolgirl. So they show that a clip of that, and then she somehow ends up being a spider. Okay. But she's not a schoolgirl anymore. She is 100% a spider, but they show clips throughout the episodes of her still in school, but that's not her anymore. So I find that's a little confusing because they haven't explained that yet.
Hmm.
And they're also going back and forth between like her other friends that
Honestly,
got revived,
yeah, it gets weird. It gets kind
Inhuman
of
and
confusing.
also the spider. So like it's two good plots, but like since they don't explain it right off the bat, it makes it a little confusing when they switch back and forth.
Okay, so in all honesty, that's actually something that I liked personally.
Yeah, but like I finished up to episode 6 and it's still like not explained. You have some insight,
I do
but
have some
like
that I don't want to ruin it for you. Okay, so for those of you listening, I've already watched the anime before.
yeah.
I suggested it for us to watch this time around because, well, Snow needs to watch some more anime, and I didn't want to let her know that I had already watched it. I actually
You
waited.
cheated
I waited an entire week to let her know that I've already watched it. So
after we
yeah,
already started it.
I've got more insight into it. I know what happens, but I'm just so happy to be watching it one more time that I want to ruin this so badly for her, but I'm not gonna. So, yeah. All I'm gonna say is that they do explain it in later episodes. I'm not
Well,
gonna
I kind
ruin
of
it.
figured,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
not
also
gonna.
like it's like think of it this way, like we're doing the podcast, they're not gonna like they're like, wait, why are they talking about this?
Well,
Right? So that's kind of like a point why I wanted to pull it out.
that's exactly why I'm not ruining it for us. Cause
That's
yeah,
fair.
for you, especially since you haven't watched it yet, it's something that they do explain later on. Right now, it is a little bit slow going just because they kind of flash back to their school days, back to the new world, and then they flash to the the school people, the school friends that have already been reincarnated. But they do explain it later on. Right now, it just seems like they're all like the spider chick hatched and she's like talking, walking, self-aware, everything. They flash
Mhm.
to her friends, which they're, I think, in their 11, 12, 13 years old, something
Mhm.
around there.
Yeah, something
Actually, I
like
think,
that.
yeah, I think it's their 11, between 11 and 12 years old, respectively. Um, between the entire group, especially because the teacher herself, she's an elf. She knows a whole lot more than the other people for some reason. They
Mhm.
all still they all still remember who they were in their past life. They introduce them each other as their new persona. So the prince, the fourth prince Shun, he introduces himself as Shun. The noblewoman Katya, she introduces herself as Katya. So they do that, but then when they're alone, they do refer to themselves as their old names, as their
Mhm.
from when. So yeah, it gets a little bit confusing.
So
Snow, go ahead and lead us
episode
into something
2.
else here. Yeah, episode two.
All right. So, okay, long story short, they for episode 2 at the beginning, they do jump back to the reincarnated high schoolers. So since they do that, they're in a class. They're doing lectures about how to use magic at the time. Um, keep in mind, actually, I think we forgot to mention this. Pardon me. One of the reincarnations is a dragon, like one of the students out of the how many is there? One, two, three, four. Four humans, and there's two. animals that got reincarnated. One is a dragon, and she is attending class with the humans because she got found, unlike the or spider, right?
Yeah.
They're just having casual chit chat, and then it flips back to our spider killing the frog that we actually jumped ahead to, like another frog. So the spider killed a couple of frogs now, understands like how to kill them easily. Um, Now she gets all her perks that Chester and I accidentally skipped to, right?
Well, you
So like
say
it
we
moves a
skipped, but
lot.
they do introduce some of that in
They
episode
do
one,
introduce
though.
it, and it's not like it is, but like she doesn't like actually like upgrade until like episode 2. Episode 2 is where she upgrades and all like she has the poison fang, poison resistance,
Hmm.
etc.
Right, right.
Right?
Okay, true, true, fine. But she
So
already
then
did
she
have the poison thing to begin
yeah,
with
but it gets
because she's a
upgraded.
spider. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah, true. Fair, fair, fair enough. Fair.
So then she gets that, she evolves, and then oh, oh, sorry, Pup was just walking around, and I was like, "Who the heck's there?" And what's it called? She does this web. She creates this huge web that she's so proud of. And then some humans kind
Wait,
of
wait.
wander
So,
into the.
okay, so before this, are we talking about the webs that she has a bed and a sink and all that?
No, 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 no. This is like before that.
Okay,
This is like so. This is her first home she's ever made. Okay, the
okay,
humans
yeah, that's
walk
fair
into
enough.
it.
I think I
One
skipped
human
ahead like
got
10-ish minutes or something like that.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I
One
thought
human
that that
got
was
stuck in
hilarious.
it. And then panicked. So the human used fire and it burned all the webs. And as the human was panicking and running away from this terrifying spider that's not that big, it dropped an egg. Right. And then this was the comment that Chester was making of appraisal because she's like, oh, he left an egg. And it's a really heavy egg to the point where she's like, oh, we can have eggs for like food and that. Right. So she gets this, she tries to crack it, doesn't work. So then she gets this, I don't know, she puts a web over it, like, over this over the rock, kinda like it's
She
so it's
does
like
like
a
a pulley
cliff,
system
and
type
then, like,
thing.
yeah, pulley system and drops it, and the egg doesn't crack. She's like, "What the hell?" So now it's just we're protecting the egg, essentially. So then she does also an appraisal skill on the egg, and she hits the egg, and it says "egg,"
Yeah.
right? And she's like, "Well, I fucking know that, right?" It's just
Like
yeah.
you would think the appraisal would tell her like what kind of egg is it, like where does the egg come from, what kind of monster is in the egg, something like
Yeah.
that. No, nothing. She does appraisal. What does it come up as? Egg. Nothing
So
else. Nothing special.
since she didn't find anything else out, then she makes a home, right? So she makes this really fancy home where it has a bed, has a sink that doesn't work, but it's for use, I guess. She has a fake TV, she has a couch, she has like all these cool web things that she spent all day making and all that. And
Okay,
she has
but
like these like
no.
little rocks that make like the clings if someone touches her web.
Okay, but so no, you gotta really explain like what the okay, so she starts showing off to the audience, to the people watch the viewers. She breaks the fourth wall. And she starts she shows it's a beautiful sink, and then she goes, but there's no running water. And like she jiggles the
Yeah,
faucet, and then she
fair
goes,
point.
and here's my TV, state of the art, but we don't get any channels with it. It's
But we
made out
just
of
pretend.
webs.
We just pretend. It's fine.
Yeah. So
So then she puts the egg in her house too, right? Because she's like, ah, this is going to be like the trophy room or whatever it was, right? So, and then she re-hits her head for the appraisal skill. Of course, the same thing, just nothing really happens. What the hell? So then I think it's like halfway into the episode, and then the humans come back to retrieve the egg that was like they forgot, right? So they obviously burned down all her webs and she realized she's in trouble. She's like, "Oh shoot, I got to run." She's really good at running. Like
yeah,
that's like
she's
her
super good at
ultimate
running. Although
strategies. I can't fight him, run, right?
yeah,
Because they were using
although that's
magic in
pretty
that.
fair to say. I mean, she is a
Yeah, it's
monster. She does
valid.
have 8 legs, and I mean, she knows the terrain more or less, right? So yeah, I'm okay with her having the
Oh, I
speed.
am.
It completely makes sense.
So she hides, and then she's kind of bummed about it. She's like, "My first home got destroyed." I guess that's what can we do? I'm kind of hungry now, so I'm gonna go get some food. Essentially. And then they flip to a scene of her like her past life in high school and how they like there was like teenager girls bullying her when she was a human. Like I don't know, that part confused me because it's not explained yet. I know Chester, it explains in the thing, but it's just random for them to do that. So then she builds a nest again, like a mini nest. She kills a spider, another spider, and then what's it called? She kills, well, actually, sorry, pardon me, multiple spiders. She killed like what, like 4 or 5 of them at one time.
I think so, yeah.
Um,
Although they
yeah,
do
it
look
was like,
different than she does. Well, I mean, they might as well. I think they're her brothers and sisters, but they look a little bit different than she does.
yeah, okay, so they do that. She gets another upgrade, like a mini upgrade. Um, like I'm talking about her powers, like her stats get upgraded. She's full. She rests again. Then she starts to do some exploring, getting a little bit more confident and whatnot. So then she finds a snake, and of course, believe it or not, she dies. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I
No,
shouldn't
no,
have
she
done that.
doesn't.
I know, but I couldn't help it. Spider snake, come on.
No, no,
Um,
no. Especially, I think
so
this is
she
when she's able to tell what kind of what their level is, what the other
Yeah, so,
monster's
like,
level
she's
is.
able to click the see their levels or whatever, but it's, like, very minimum, and she's able to see, like, their HP or something like that.
Yeah, their HP, MP, and SP. I think it is.
Yeah, so, like, she ends up killing the spider, okay, and essentially, you need to like, she, of course, does some running, panicking, she's like, "Oh, we gotta fight this thing." Traps the mouth and then, like, somehow, like, gets around the spider and then bites it. Like, it's, like, a cool it's actually not a bad scene. Like, I suggest watching it. It's on
Yeah,
episode
honestly,
2 near
it's a
the end.
really good fight. If there's something that this anime does really, really, really well, is the fight scenes between the spider and other monsters.
Yeah, so, like and also, the so her killing the spider, she obviously eats not the spider, sorry. Her killing the snake, pardon me, gets her a lot more points faster because it's a stronger monster than the frog, right?
Right.
Like, hierarchy kinda goes like creeper crawlies, spider, frog, snake, pyramid chain, right? So like she actually once after she eats the snakes, pardon me, I don't know, I keep saying spider. She
Because
has
there's been a
this
lot of
choice
spiders
to
up until this
evolve,
point.
right? She can be a lesser
It's
Evulsion
weird,
or
yeah.
whatever, or a smaller one, right? So she can be lesser, and it gives her like different stats. Like if she could be like super big and then strong, or super small and fast. So she would choose the smaller and fast, like the lesser one, because she liked what she already had. Because she's
True.
like, I'm getting good at this. She's getting confidence, kind of thing, right?
Also, she does kind of explain that if she were to choose the small
Yeah.
the small branch of the evolution, she would have needed to start from level 1 all over again because she's already a
Yes,
lesser. She's a lesser spider. If she
that
were
is a good
to
point. I
have
did miss that.
Yeah. So if she, since she was already a lesser spider or a lesser monster, she's already got base stats and she's got levels up. If she were to have chosen the small instead of the lesser of, then she would have had to start from level 1 with completely different stats. So
Mhm.
she chose to stay a lesser monster, keep her base stats, and move them and carry them over to towards that evolution tree.
Yeah. Did I miss anything else major in this episode?
You did.
What did
So
I miss?
So what you missed is not from the spider, nothing from the spider. What we actually find out is because the one of the classmates, the since they found each other somehow or another, they start talking, they start kind of sharing different things with each other. Now,
Dragon and the human?
the dragon and the human and the other people around them. So the
That
dragon,
was that was at the beginning. I already
yeah.
did that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I
It was
was
just at the
you.
beginning of the episode. You can
Okay.
recap though. It's a good recap.
Okay, well, in the previous life, uh, the dragon was a girl that constantly bullied one of the other classmates. So she thought that her being born as a dragon was karmic revenge, and karmic revenge for her bullying and picking on another one of their friends or another one of their classmates, which for from what I see of a lot, um, when no, that's completely different. But yeah, no. Sorry, I was about to go on a tangent, but completely different. Yeah, no. Um, from there, we're going to episode 3. So yeah, it doesn't look like you missed much of anything there this as now. The only thing that we did kind of skip was that by going on to level 10, she does get night vision, and she gets vision expansion level 1.
Oh, it's also the she got the detection
And she
or
gets
whatever it
detection.
was,
Yeah, that's
right? And
true.
it gave her like a massive migraine or something like that. And she's like, no, no,
Yeah.
no. And she like panicked. She like went over the cliff and like tried to use it.
She got a huge headache, I think was what it was. Because she tried
Yeah.
to use the detect, but I'm guessing because she wasn't. Oh, this one's gonna be weird
I think we should just
because
start on episode 3 and then we can touch up on it.
I think so. Although
I think, yeah.
now at towards the end of the episode too, though, I don't know if you missed this one. For me, I saw it just because I forgot to skip from the credits onto episode 3. Um,
I did miss that actually.
okay, cool. So at the end of the episode, Shun and Faye are both in the castle library, and he's kind of going over the dragon evolutions, and he tells her, "Well, hey, look, you're an Earth dragon. You can either go through you have multiple things that you can go through, multiple evolutions that you can choose from. So kind of like the spider." And
Mhm.
he tells her, "So if you're gonna be forced to pick one, why don't we just go for the bigger, cooler, more powerful looking one?" And since she's a girl, and since she was a girl in her previous life, she kind of rebukes him, and she tells him, "Do you really think that a girl's biggest dream and ambition is to be cool and powerful?" But from there, he kind of says sorry. He kind of apologizes. He turns the page, and it looks like she sees something else that we can't see, because
Yeah,
she
that
ends up
kind of.
saying, "Yeah," but it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of sets up something for the later episodes that we haven't seen yet.
They
So,
do actually kind of touch up on what's it called, episode 3 about that for the dragon.
mhm. But that is something that I wanted to touch up on because it's the very end, and I had actually missed it the first time around, but not this time. So, and it's also something that we wouldn't have seen if we had what do you call it? If we had just kind of skipped from here to episode 3. So, something interesting to kind of note. But yeah, moving on to episode 3. Sorry about that, Snap.
Oh, you're good. Do you want to start off with episode 3?
Sure. So episode 3, which is called Earthworm Dragon Bad News. So after she evolves, the spider Nameless, we still have nothing. We actually have no idea who she was in her previous life either. I have an idea, but up until this
Okay,
moment,
shut up.
no,
Get
no,
going.
I have an idea because even towards the end of it where I left off before, I still have my doubts. But yeah, it's still nameless spider. Um, she suddenly gets attacked by a group of humans uh, while running away from them, accidentally falls down a hole, and she uses her spider web to obviously catch herself before she just splats. So back at the academy, Shun's class is having magic practice, but this annoying ass red haired kid. Not that redheads are annoying. I'm sorry, but this guy, he's
It's
annoying as all hell.
an
I'm sorry.
easy way to describe him.
Yeah, he's
He's the
annoying as hell.
jock of that's annoying as all.
Yeah, just because he's a duke or not a prince, but he feels that he's the prince, that he should be prince. He inferiority complexes are a thing, and this guy is annoying as all hell. All right, so anyway, the this Hugo kid, right? Uh, Hugo, he caused a huge scene in an attempt to stand out. Um, by this I mean they're supposed to be shooting water balls at a target, and he ends up saying, "Well, hey, well, you know what? This is stupid because my specialty is fire. It's not water." So he
Wait,
ends
can
up.
I pause for 1 second?
Yeah, sorry. I feel like I'm skipping something. I just hate this actual kid so much. But yeah, I need a breather. Go
So
for it.
going back to the beginning of the episode, so the spider does evolve, and then they also kind of do like at the beginning of like really quick picks before she evolves
They
of
do. I thought
like
that
what
happened after
kind of
the.
a spider she wants to be. Right, she'd be like, maybe I could be like a Spider-Man, like with really, really cool getup or whatever, and like another one would be like a karate one, right? That's kind of cool
It is.
and creative too. But also whenever she does evolve, she gets super hungry and all her HP goes way down. So has to eat a lot. So she was eating a lot of frogs and that, and then humans came across her and she like runs out of panic. And then these like
It
lizards, I
happens a lot.
think,
She
I
runs
don't
away a
know.
lot, which is why her speed
Yeah,
stats are so high up.
so these lizards ran into her, and keep in mind, as the more she upgrades, the better her all of her perks and stats get. Like I'm talking about like her what is that one perk that we were just talking about?
Taboo?
Taboo, not taboo. That doesn't get upgraded till later again.
Mm,
Um oh, the intel perk, whatever it's called.
appraise.
Just appraise, thank you. I'm like so the appraisal gets higher and higher. So now she's starting to be able to see their stats. She's able to see their HP, what levels they're at,
Yeah,
right?
this is the true. Sorry, and I do want to say this is when things start to get a little bit interesting. At least from episode 3, because she starts
Hmm.
to see what level people are at or what level other monsters are at.
And
Um,
also how strong they are.
yeah, how strong they are, how strong she is. She's actually finally able to see different things. Um, one of the very first things, and I'm really sorry, Snev, you were getting to this, but she touches herself. She appraises herself, and she figures she
Touches
actually
herself.
sees that her species changed. So she's not a unnamed spider anymore. Now she
Yeah.
or she's not a lesser spider anymore. What ends up happening is her species changed to small pterodactyl.
Hmm.
Her status though still weak.
Yes. Also, so she runs into the humans, so she starts running away, then she runs into this three lizards. And as she's running, she's so much faster. So she hears something in the background, and then obviously the lizard dinosaurs, whatever they are, like die. And she's like, well, better them than me, hee hee hee,
Yeah,
or whatever.
true. I
And
mean,
then that's when they switch over to the school scene.
oh, on this one too, at the beginning of the episode, she actually does get something else, a different skill, which is threat control along with her detection skill. So with threat control, she's able to control where her spider web goes. So once she shoots it, she can actually manipulate whether it goes, it does a U-turn where it goes up, down, sideways, left, right. You know, so it's actually pretty cool. And this is where she breaks the fourth wall again. She starts saying that she's gonna be the friendly neighborhood spider. If you don't get that, then I don't know how to help you here because she's referring to Spider Man. No, nothing Spider, nothing Snow. Really? All right. I think something's up with her mic. We can keep going now. On episode 3, it does kind it goes back to the academy. They start shooting water balls into a target, but they do get told ahead of time that, hey, you know what? Just be very careful. There has been a dragon sighted around here. It has already gotten a couple people, so the students should be very careful. Now, that would have been great. Now, the class is suddenly then attacked while they're practicing their magic by the Earth Dragon, which then kills the teacher. How it killed the teacher, since he's supposed to be stronger than the students, I'm not too sure. But it kills the teacher. Hugo then arrogantly tries to defeat it alone, only to get instantly knocked out. How? Well, if you guys remember, I did say that his specialty was fire. And if you guys have ever played Pokemon, then you know that Earth against fire is super effective. Fire against Earth, not too effective. So, yeah, take that with the as an explanation. Um, However you'd like. Now, emulating his older brother, the hero Julius, uh, the prince Shun attacks it while the other reincarnates and the other students manage to kill it. How? Well, Shun's specialty, since Hugo's specialty is fire magic, Shun's specialty is actually water magic, which is something that he says on episode at the start of the episode.
Hmm.
So, luckily enough, again, if you've played Pokemon, water against earth, super effective. So, going from there, they do manage to kill a dragon. Now, um, afterwards, Shun is horrified to learn that Faye gained the title Kin Eater because Faye, the dragon, did manage to deal the death blow on the dragon. That dragon was an
I
earth
thought it was
dragon.
taboo that the dragon also earned.
Yeah, it is. But Kin Eater can only come around with when the taboo's skill is earned. So they kind of do go hand in hand. He
Yeah, so
does
like
it. Yeah, I think the very first one that pops up is the taboo, and then immediately after it's the Kin Eater. So
yes.
yeah,
And that's because they believe the reason why she got the taboo is because that was her parent. Like that they're like the same species. So whenever you eat the same species, that's like taboo kind of
yeah,
can eater kind of thing.
true. And yeah, if in all honesty, if it's anything like how it is with the spider in the dungeon, I think it might have been I don't know. More like the dragon kind of figured out that Faye was with the students and she tried to take her back somehow, but I don't know.
What do
Just
you
a
mean?
hunch though.
What?
Well, because
I don't understand.
she figures out that the dragon might have been the parent, so the mom.
Yes.
I don't think the dad dragon would have stuck around, but the mom dragon normally sticks around to feed the young until they're old enough or big enough to go out on their own,
Mhm.
right? So I think
Mhm.
that's why she figured, well, that's my mom. So I killed my mom, I ate her, and that's why I've got Kin Eater now.
Huh.
So just just me thinking out loud. I'm not too sure if that's going to be the case later on, but she does get the Kin Eater skill from there. Shun is worried, to say the least, that she ends up getting it, but yeah,
And the way they so the guy, the prince that's always with her, realizes it because she got really downed about it. And then so he does the appraisal skill on her, and then he sees the skill, and he's like, "It's okay, we'll figure it out later." Essentially, right?
yeah.
So
Well, well, at the same time too, though, right? Um, they can't do much about it anyway because they've got very limited amount of information, and their magic teacher did die with the dragon. So yeah, rip.
yeah, and then at the very end, hidden behind the credits, that is where they switch back to the spider, and she's exploring the dungeon again. Very, very smart, we know. Pure curiosity, honestly. And she goes to this lower level and she runs into like these bees. And then she can see their level and she's like, oh God, right? Because they're kind of like stinger bees. like wasp, I think is a better way to describe them. There's snakes, and then there's
A
this
lot of
huge
stuff.
um dragon down there, and then all of them are trying to take down the dragon, and she freaks out and kind of runs off. Right? She's like, "Oh nope, that's too much for me. Thanks, bye." Right? So essentially, overall, it's a pretty good couple of episodes right off the bat. So mm, I think we should do. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna start episode 4. I think we're gonna end it on episode 4 tonight. Just because, like, I feel like we're good on time, right? We're not too bad, and if we do 4s for this, it's a little less for you guys to watch in total.
In all
But
honesty, I was about to suggest that we go on to episode 4 just because we got some good momentum going. And we did watch
I
like
thought you
six
left your PC
episodes.
and I was gonna get away with starting it.
No, no. I mean, you can get away with it. I'm all for it.
All right. So, episode 4, she runs into some wasps again as she's running away out of panic. And then she runs into like a grasshopper thing that has these like his arms are literally like knives, so he just kind of like
Oh,
karate
a
chops
praying
them
mantis.
all
It's
down.
a praying mantis. She runs into
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't remember
I was
exactly
kind
what
of
it was.
wondering, like, oh, grasshopper. What the hell kind of grasshopper is that?
Yeah,
No, it's a praying mantis.
yeah, that's fair. So she kind of hides from that. She is slowly getting attacked by the snakes, pre-mantises, and wops because she ran into the dungeon near the final episode.
Uh huh.
But then she gets away, obviously, right after panicking, frantically running away. And then she runs into this like beetle thing.
Well, no.
It's like a little
We do
parasite.
true, but I mean, we do have to kind of note that this specifically, uh, with the praying mantis, this is where we figure out what this place is called. So
Mm,
by
I
that
missed that part.
I'm glad I caught you then. So on this one, we do find out that the place that she's in and the world, or at least the country that she's in, is the well the cave itself is called the Great Elro Labyrinth, and she's in the lower stratum. And she says, I guess I'm just finding out this place is called the Great Elro Labyrinth, and I'm on the lower level along with these powerful monsters. So huge. It might play a part later on, but at least now we know it's not in a completely nameless place. We know it's called Elro.
Remember the levels? Did she start to really use them at the beginning, like at the end of episode 4 and 5 and 6?
Yeah, she starts to
Um,
kind of categorize things where she was. They're like medium tier monsters, low
and
level
she,
monsters, and
yeah,
then
and she also notices if they're running in packs and how unfair that is.
yeah, yeah. In fairness though, she did run away from her family and from her own pack, so she kind of did bring
Spiders are
it on her
solo.
on herself. Oh, also,
Hmm,
it's not a beetle that she runs into. It's oh crap, what's it called?
I don't
It's
know.
a greater Tertect. So I think
Okay,
it ends up
sure.
being her mom that she sees.
No.
It's not. You don't think so?
Dude, this thing's literally like a little itty bitty like caterpillar thing.
No.
Yeah, it's literally I'm literally looking at it because I went back to the episode. It is at 5:20 on episode 4.
All right.
Like
Let's see.
it's
Well,
literally like a little green. Look at 5:06. Okay, it's
okay.
not
No, those are
not there.
different. No, no. I'm talking about like before
Mm.
because there's a spider and she comes up behind the praying mantis and she kills it, and the name comes up as oh crap, what is it?
Oh, well, yeah, but she's running away anyway, so it's not like we really missed anything important about that,
True, true. That's true.
right? So it's like, yeah, she didn't really do any fighting that scene. She literally just ran away. That's kind of why I skipped all of that.
True. Now, the beetles
Which is
that she
entertaining to
sees,
watch.
yeah. Now the beetles that Snow did mention is she brings it down and she figures, well, you know what? There's nothing that's coming after these bugs, these beetles. So easy prey. So hey, when
So she
she
takes one and it's horrible and it's like she spits it out, and then she gets so offended because she gets a rot resistance
No,
level up,
no,
so she
not
eats
just
it.
that. It actually kills her. Her HP drains down to like zero. But somehow one of her skills brings her back to life, and then she gets the skill for rot resistance.
Fair.
But yeah, no,
So
I completely agree. It's really funny.
she starts wandering around, etc., capturing a whole bunch of frogs, realizing she's getting more poison skills, and then she also gets poison magic now. And what it is like a ball of like poison. She's able to spit it out of her mouth. That's like a ball of like poison that just kind of flops
The
out.
poison synthesized, right? Or synthesized poison?
Yeah, or whatever it is. So she's trying to figure out how to use it. She figures out how to use the poisoned sympathize, whatever it is.
Uh huh.
And then she's like really proud of herself and starts being really courageous again and wandering the cave. So this is where we're introduced to monkeys. Um
Yeah, you heard that right. We get introduced to monkeys in a cave.
Yeah. So the first monkeys we got introduced were level 14 because she can see the levels now, which is kind of cool. And she's like on the ceiling. So she's like, oh, gotta keep my head down. Those are a little too strong for me. And they're also in a pack. There's like 4 or 5 of them together. So she realizes it's too much to do just one spider, right? So then there's this one solo monkey that was like a lower level, like level 6 to 12, somewhere in between there, has not developed yet. So she's like, "Oh, I can take this freaking thing down because it's only one." So she takes down the monkey. Yeah, I know where your thought's gonna go. So she wraps it up in her web. She starts eating it, because she was
No,
able
you
to.
kind of skipped this one. This
No,
monkey
I
is
didn't.
weird. I think so. This monkey's weird as all hell. So she tries to go. She does see the monkey. She swings away because he's strong as all hell. And then there's another monkey, and she figures, you know what? This one seems a little bit different than the other ones. A little bit dumber, a little bit stupider.
That's fair.
So she tries shooting. No, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. The
Hmm.
monkey lunges at her and breaks a boulder where she's hiding behind. She then runs around him, shoots the spider web at him, and this freaking thing dodges it and lands and sorry, doesn't land a blow. Almost lands a blow. But yeah, she figures out the monkey he looks incredibly dumb, incredibly slow, but it's the complete opposite. He's stronger, he's faster, and apparently he's a lot smarter than the other ones.
Yeah, I guess. Um, no, he's not faster or stronger than the upgraded ones.
Well, then he seems, sorry.
He's
He's
not, yeah, he
stronger and
seems
smarter than
to
he
be.
seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But
she
like the more developed the level, like the ones that she didn't fight at the beginning that I mentioned were stronger than that current monkey because they were actually developed and they evolved.
true. Now,
So
from there, go ahead. Mm.
she eats the monkey and she's like, ah, I'm stuffed. That's a good meal. And she climbs up on a rock and kind of makes like a little nest so she can just nap it off. But then she hears a whole bunch of noises and she's like, what the hell? Essentially panics because she realizes that monkey that she killed called all of their monkey friends. She has like a huge freaking swarm of monkeys trying to
Although,
crawl up the rock and kill her.
to her defense, though, she did manage to capture and kill and eat one monkey on her own. So,
Mhm.
by doing that, all her base stats went up.
Yeah, tremendously again.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, for
she
sure.
tries to escape, but she can't climb the rock anymore. It's like too slippery or whatever. So she can only go left to right. And the monkeys are slowly climbing up, right? And they're climbing from the sides, and they're intelligent monkeys. They're working together. Like she makes a very strong point where it's like she put like a rock down or like a web trap or whatever it was, like multiple different traps in that.
Hmm.
Where if some of them got caught or stuck behind a boulder, they actually would rather drop to their death than potentially still hold on, and the other monkeys wouldn't be able to get there.
Yeah.
Right. So they
So,
were actually like dropping on their own, be like, okay, I didn't make it. I'm gonna drop down now. You guys try because if I hang on, then you guys are all fucked too, right?
yeah.
So I think that was kind of cool. The
Kind of, sort of,
intelligence of
yeah.
the species that she did. And then she killed a whole bunch of them. The numbers were half, and then the evolved monkeys showed up, and that was different. Where they started throwing rocks at her, like boulders. I mean, not rocks, little
Yeah.
pebbles,
Yeah.
right? And she's like,
Although
"That's not freaking fair."
she did actually manage to catch another monkey right before he killed her.
Yeah.
She managed to catch one, and she bit into him while he was wrapped up in in the web.
Huh.
So that's two monkeys that she killed. So that actually brought her up to a different two from 4 to level 5, where if you guys remember, once she levels up, she can molt.
Mhm. Well, also with that in mind, she wasn't able to molt at that exact time until after all the monkeys were dealt with. So yeah, like in reality, you kind of need to watch this whole fighting scene. Like this, and like this fighting scene is about like I don't know, like over just like under half of the whole episode. And it's like she starts to use her poison magic, which is cool, right? Monkey gets a huge chunk out of her, like eats literally half of her. And then she molds near the end of the anime, like not anime episode, once like she was able to kill that final monkey, right? Because she almost died. She did
Not
get
even
like the
one. She
monkey,
got ganged up on. I think it was like two or three monkeys that went straight forward to smack her down.
yeah, or whatever it was. But like one monkey actually like bit like the side of her, like the spider part or whatever, and
Hmm.
then she was able to mold and then eat all the monkeys, and she was like super full essentially.
Oh yeah,
But no, I think that was it. I believe
I think so.
like
But
you kind of
at the
need
end
to
of it,
watch
she
it. Like,
does. She ends up finding the way down to the upper stratum.
mhm,
What she thinks is the upper stratum, but she actually goes down to the middle, which
which is
ends
a
up,
lava level.
yeah. So luckily for her, she actually had a fire resistance from the, I think what was it, the first p the first people that she met, the first humans that she saw, because they had
Yes,
cast
the
fireball at
webs.
her. She survived. She got scorched, but she survived. But that actually had given her um the fire resistance, luckily enough. So because it's a lava episode, or because it's a lava level, she's able to survive it not only because she's got that's fire resistance. So luckily, it kind of worked out for her,
Did.
and
But
that's where the episode stops. It ends, and this is actually where we're gonna end. So any thoughts, Snow? Anything else to add?
like I said before, like personally they need to explain the how she got there. This how's the school related, like the magic school's related to her. Because that's like the only really questionable. Other than that, the episode, like the anime, I don't know why I keep saying episode now, is actually really fun to watch. And it's actually kind of cute at the same time. It's just like you honestly would be panicking. The way she panics and like she's like, ah, fuck it, right? At the same time. It's
Yeah,
like if you were in that situation, it would be valid. It would be very understandable, which is kind of
it's
fun.
really fun. That's one of the things that I like. It's that, and she constantly breaks the fourth wall, and she ends up talking to the viewer directly, only
Hmm.
because like she accepts that this more of an RPG style games, and she's just the player behind it. So not just that, but since she's the player behind it, she's this is her new life. She can actually escape it, at least from what we know of just yet. And because it's an isekai, so a lot of the people in the isekai animes are just trying to get back to the world. So I'm just kind of piecing those two together. Um, but yeah, she figures out, you know, make the best out of what we've got here. Maybe we'll get better if we level once we level back up. But it's fun. Honestly, it's just really fun.
I highly suggest watching it. It's completely different from the other two. animes that we watch. It's less like assassin intense, like fighting for the good of evil at this exact second, right?
True.
Like it's more like it's compared to Spriggan, which is the last anime we did a podcast on, it's more like the storyline takes so much longer to get into, right? Like the fact that we don't know any of that information and it's already like episode 4 compared to Spriggan, it's like you knew everything kind of at the beginning of like episode 1 and 2,
True.
right? It's like a fast-paced
Although
anime. This
Spriggan
one's
is more
more
of an
chill.
anthology type thing where like each episode is a standalone episode. This one it's not really like that. It's an actual
Yeah, that's
series,
fair.
which
It's valid.
it's actually really good because there's more than 12 episodes. They have some time, they have some room to expand and explain. So that's actually really, really working in their favor. So
Hmm.
they're able to explain more in more episodes, not just like here's episode 1, now you know her entire life story. Here's episode 2, now you know the other people's life story. It's more like here's episode 1, we're starting you from the very beginning. It's gonna be confusing. It's gonna be a little bit slow going, but you're getting the information that kind of it's a world building. So a little by little you're kind of learning as you go along, and it's not all everything all at once, but they're giving you bits and pieces here and there. And it's again, it's not overwhelming you all at once. It's giving you bits and pieces,
It gives you
letting you kind of
curiosity and then, like, it also gives you entertainment at the same time.
yeah. And honestly, I love that so much. It's a good story so far. It's being told really, really well. The animation's actually really good. The CGI is still a little bit annoying, but it's something that I gotta accept at this point. But yeah, that's for me anyway. I think that's my only downside is the CGI. Aside from that, things are pretty good. I like the story so far. World building is actually going really well. Um, the explanation as to what's going on, like Snow said, is a little bit slow, but I'm here for
We're going in loops.
it. And I'm kind of glad that we
Alright.
went from episode 3 to episode 4 and we didn't stop at episode 3 because it's
I think we should do 4s on this one, to be honest.
well, we'll see. I think we should just watch the anime as it and kind of decide as we go because if
That's fair.
we might end up doing three per episode. We might end up doing 4. If we do more than 4, it's gonna be a slightly longer podcast. But
But
personally, I'm okay with that if we're on a roll. If we get some really good momentum going. But again, that's
fair
just
enough.
me. It does kind of fall to Snow as well because we don't have all the time in the world. We are busy doing other stuff. So, yeah. Um, anything that you would like to say, Snow?
No,
Any
I think we
plugs?
should have ended on that.
All right, cool. Plugs. You want to plug your socials, anything like that?
Nope.
All right, cool. For me, this is gonna be going up on, uh, hopefully I'll upload it to Twitch. Definitely gonna be on YouTube, obviously. My Twitch account is gonna be at twitch.tv/Chester. It's gonna be CH3STRR. Snow actually does stream here and there. She does have a Twitch account. You want to include that as well, Snow, or nah?
Sorry. No.
Okay,
We'll
fine.
do that at the end.
This is the end.
No, like the end of the anime.
Okay, but if you do tune into my streams, I do stream a lot with Snow.
Mhm.
So,
I'm great content.
oh, she is. She farts on stream. She's it's like having a whole brother.
Mhm. At least I'm consistent.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys have a great rest of the day. If you're watching it during the day, if you're watching it at night, hopefully you guys have a great night. If you're using this as sleep aid, uh, hopefully we helped out. Hopefully we're not too loud, and if we are, well, that's your choice entirely. Uh, you guys have a great time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We will be back soon with episodes 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. We'll see. We don't know yet. But for now, this has been us doing Anime Book Club. You guys have a great one. Goodbye.
Hi.